Okay, we knew that. Most of the relevant rumors coincide with the reign of Guy Hudson, who took over as president in 1978. She was very much not a fan of Guy, and according to the sixth piece, it was an open secret within the family that Guy was very much not a fan of remaining faithful to his wife Patricia. All right, let's go back here. Secrets to figure out. Who was Guy really? Was his accident really an accident? We might as well do this. Person who hired us in main story. Hated Guy Hudson. Wait, I was here, wasn't I? Yeah. It was an open secret within the family that Guy was very much not a fan of remaining faithful to his wife, Patricia. With wife Patricia. Many of their hires at the time were young single women, and Guy often spent a lavish amount of money on private parties. Same thing. That was 20 years ago, and Sam sworn that most of it is hearsay. Still, you find the following information that may be relevant. One of Sam's farm supervisors was named Elizabeth. Elizabeth had a daughter who Sam never met, but who worked as one of Guy's secretaries. According to Elizabeth, a caterer from a local restaurant called Antonellis met her daughter at one of Guy's parties, and they eloped quickly due to the pregnancy. Elizabeth wasn't aware that the party was for swingers. Rumor has it that her daughter showed up with Guy and didn't seem comfortable switching partners. What I put? Let's bring this here. Rumor. Sam's farm hand. Elizabeth. Daughter. Became one of Guy's secretaries and was brought to a swinger party where she met her husband, a caterer, from local, this is a lot, restaurant, Antonellis, eloped. I need to let's put a star there. Oh, what did I do? Edit. There we go. Guy's main positive contribution to the company involved expanding to markets previously untapped by the Roottrees. However, when he went on trips overseas, they were often for weeks at a time, and Guy was known for spending more time and money on unofficial business than meetings with distributors and manufacturers. It was said that he bribed at least one politician to open a factory in Brazil. Parties to bribe the There's also a section where Sam speculates that Elias may have also cheated on Gwyneth. Gwyneth was also much kinder to Sam than Elias was, and was the first to invite Sam to family events. While she has no hard evidence, Sam always got the impression that Gwyneth was able to coerce Elias into allowing Sam back into the family, using some kind of leverage, instead of it being a national course of events. Did She mentioned that Elias and Gwyneth were known to loudly argue, sometimes about another woman. Sam also says her son Ernie once asked her, "Who's Beth?" Who's Beth? Maybe one of Elias's mistresses? He overheard them yelling about someone with that name. As far as Sam to know, Elias once had a secretary named Elizabeth, a different Elizabeth than a supervisor from the farm, but she never met her. There was a secretary named Elizabeth. Not the farmhand. Is that true though? This is a lot going on in this family, man. That's fine. All right, next. Let's do so the periodicals. We know there is news time. And let's do Clancy, Roottrie Thorough. Let's do the Roottrees. By Hudson. There we go. Felix Bell. What? This was okay. This is the 5-piece guy. I don't want to delete. Fine. famously appeared on the cover of News Time, kicking off Roottreemania. Then a week later, Miracle Roottree appeared on the cover of the magazine in an article that focused heavily on 5Ps as well. A summary of both articles, as well as a close-up of the photo 5Ps is holding on the cover of his issue, have been added to your evidence. News Time. Okay, I also need to look up Roottreemania. Kick off Roottreemania. Now, no. Wait. First person to become identified as a true Roottree. Nah, we know that Miracle. So Miracle Roottree. He denied that Felix was a Roottree. Let's move it. Denied Felix was a Roottree. Article, okay. We're at 3. Let's go down the line. Hasn't been updated, that's fine. We did that one. Okay. Oh, are you 5P? Felix Fellows. Could this rapper be the next Sam Madsen? Okay. Okay. 5Ps, aka Felix Fellows, appeared on the cover of News Time holding a photo of his mother and Guy Hudson. Ah. Okay. Photo of his mother with Guy. The article concerns his insistence that his father was Guy Hudson. The story was dramatic and sensational and initially dismissed as fake until a DNA proved that he was related to Guy. 5B said that his mother Joanna was Zach Martin's secretary. Oh crap. Mother was Zach Morton, secretary, when he retired, and then Guy's secretary for only 1 or 2 weeks after that before she quit. Then Guy for 1 to 2 weeks, then she quit. The first few weeks that he was president, his parents divorced when he was 4. After his father learned of the affair, Felix and his mother then moved to Portland because she was afraid for her and her son's life. He grew up with her until he was 16, but one day his mother never came home from the movie rental store where she worked the register. The next morning, they found her dead from an overdose in her car. She had stolen all the cash from her drawer and spent it on heroin. Died of a drug overdose. As Felix went through her belongings, the only things he had to remember her by were a hairbrush she always used, some photos, and a stuffed animal from her childhood. But then he found it, a box hidden in the back of her closet. Inside were love letters and photos related to Guy Hudson, as well as a letter from his father containing threats. He threw it all away, with the exception of the one photo he appears with on the cover of News Times. He said it was the only one where they were dressed. The only one not from the affair itself. The picture is shown in full inside the magazine and was added to your evidence. The magazine also includes some additional history about 5P's career. Felix Fellows was born to Riley and Joanna Fellows. Riley Fellows thought he was his dad until he found out about the affair. Felix was born to Riley and Joanna Fellows, but has never rapped without a moniker. He tried to find success by opening for other artists and even by selling CDs on street corners in Portland. He has only recently started going as 5P to harness the power of his lineage. The writer did some research into the truth of these claims and was able to confirm that Joanna did work for the Roottree Company as a secretary sometimes during the early to mid-90s. It was confirmed she died of a drug overdose and that Felix went into foster care soon after. They were unable to track down his father. They also reached out to the Roottree Company, but at the moment the company's blanket statement was, since the release of a recent book, Roottree has seen its overwhelming number of false ancestral claims. None have been factual, and nearly all have been knowingly dishonest. We encourage individuals to reach out to us in an official capacity as opposed to attempting to use our name in the media for publicity. Okay, I want to see it. This is News Time, holding his Polaroid of his mother when she was Zach's secretary at a family picnic. He claims that Joanna and Guy, also in the photo, was having an affair that led to his birth. Archive. Actually, no. Nope. Family tree. Yep. The red hair. That's interesting. They say you died without children. Miracle. Charlatans and thieves. Miracle Roottree appeared on the cover of Newstime shortly after 5P's did. He vehemently denied that 5P's was a Roottree. This article was from before the DNA test that proved it. Miracle doesn't focus much on the details of 5 P's accusation regarding his mother and Guy Hudson. Instead, he comes across as exhausted at the events that have been going on behind the scenes, as well as the character of those he feels are attacking his family. He starts with 6 pieces content. He says that although most of the books was based in fact, it left out anything that wouldn't fit the agenda. He points out Sam's daughter still earns a generous salary for overseeing the farm division of Roottree, and that Sam did the same before her, that Sam's family was not destitute, and that really it was only her son who chose to take on a job with no salary. He claims that though they didn't have to, the family helped pay for her son's medical bills after voting that it was the right thing to do. Miracle also says, and we also know that was only because of Carl, I think. Miracle also says that the story about his father, Elias, shunning EC was one-sided, leaving out Edward Clancy's blame in the whole thing. Elias gave him a simple ultimatum: stop sinning or be disowned. Miracle said it was EC's own choice, and that Elias allowing him to earn food and shelter on the company's dime was a kindness, especially considering that he and John continued to live together. Okay, Miracle. Miracle then pivots to the fallout from 6 pieces. He recounts the deluge of claims to the clan's trust that the family have been subjected to. He doesn't cite any specifics, but says that every time someone comes forward, the family devolves into arguments. They had to hire an outside legal team to help, but so far every case has been demonstrably laughably false. All they do is tarnish his family's reputation. He focuses on 5 P's again. Old preacher, I think. Which one, Art? You have to be. Old preacher. He focuses on 5 P's who appeared on news time before him. He calls him a grifter and a delinquent and says he is using their name and products to sell filth to the masses. Of all the accusations, he said this is the most dangerous because it exposes the world to hatred. He cites 5 P's lyrics as violent, sexist, and ungodly, and prays the boy will repent, retract his lies, and find religion. Lastly, he turns to the future. Miracle states that those that wish to hear the true story can join him on his farewell tour this upcoming fall. The Miracles Roottree are planning on touring the country's churches one last time, and that now at 71. Miracle is the oldest living Roottree. While he plans to continue preaching at his own church in Butler County after the tour, this is your last chance to hear the truth from the man with the most complete recollection of one of America's most notable families in your own hometown. The article mentions that Miracle's son, Miracle Jr., did not wish to comment and has a statement from Clark Rafferty LaRoe through the Roottrees law firm. Miracle does not speak for his entire family. We're working carefully on a plan to definitely disprove any claims of infidelity in our family's past. The article also does not refute Miracle's claim that he's the oldest living Roottree, despite Sam Madison being born the year before him. Oh, that is not true. Says he's oldest living Roottree, but Sam was born a year before him. was unclear if Miracle made the claim out of ignorance or spite. Huh. Okay. I don't think yeah. Let's continue on. That was through this. Let's do through the search. It seems Miracle Sr. is going on a new tour of the United States in late 1999. The previous flyer for 3 generations of Miracles have been replaced. Let's see. Just so to see if we can get a picture. No, okay. Be a part of history. The oldest living Roottrie reprises and retells his incredibly true story. Miracle Roottree grew up as the... Wait, let's go back. He grew up as one of the famous 5 pieces. Oh, so this is the original. Okay, it makes sense. I thought it was this one and this one, but I guess not. Living a life of wealth and luxury, but misfortune was nothing compared to the powerful force of the Almighty. We knew he was sick. Doctors determined he was destined to die young, but fate had different plans. He has lived a long and fruitful life. However, he's now in his 70s, and his age is beginning to make life on the road more difficult. So consider this your last chance to see him in a town near you before he settles back down in Pennsylvania. In this intimate evening, Miracle will reminisce about his famous history. He'll discuss his family's saints and sinners and provide a unique perspective on one of the most notable families in the United States today. Learn what originally drove him away from his fortune into the arms of religion, and learn how his life has become more wealthy in spirit than it ever could have been from his inheritance. The site also lists the churches he will be appearing in and mentions the tickets can be purchased at their local services. Notably absent are any mentions about Miracle's news appearance. Huh? And then, what about Junior? Nope. Picklety? Nope. It was time. Interesting. Miracle. Alright, nothing else about him. Let's look at this tree. 1998. First affair is crazy. This is a lot going on. Okay. I looked up Miracle. Let's actually look up Roottreemania. Followed the announcement that a rapper going by 5-piece was actually a Roottree. Collectively, popular culture seems to focus on the Roottree family and 5-piece for a few weeks before everything felt oversaturated and society moved on. Because of the 5-piece saga, an underlying through line to how pop culture treated Roottreemania was an excuse for everyday people to claim they were also Roottrees. Daytime talk shows had I'm a Secret Roottree episodes. Late night hosts and guests made jokes about other lost members of the family. And there were a widely shared network where you could fill in your own name to find out if you were a secret Roottree. Wow. When you submitted your name, it simply said no, with an image of Clark Rafferty LaRoe giving you the finger. Roottreemania lasts only a few weeks, just long enough for 6-piece to re-enter the chart, and to trigger new printings of other Roottree-related media. This includes Lauren Diaries, VHS releases of Gwen's old movies, as well as countless other unauthorized biographies, which mostly seem to attempt to capitalize on the Roottree Sisters, Carl and Brenda. Their re-releases were too late to successfully capitalize on or extend the craze. As a result, most of them were failures, and countless novelty shirts that have varieties of I'm a Secret Roottree became immediately unfashionable, though some people still wear them ironically. Let's actually look this up. Nope. I have to do it. I learned the hard way not to. Alright, that's Roottreemania. Okay, let's now look into I did do Clark. Let's now do Raina. Used to initially place Raina, Rose, and Riley as the love, though instead of the cheeky pink background with purple text, it's now a more traditional black text on a white background. The young Wells master has turned the site into a memorial for the sisters and their father. It seems like she did end up getting her ears pierced like Rose after all. Regardless, there is no relevant information, just a picture of the girls with a sad MIDI piano playing in the background. From other high-profile sites, you found that a charity has been set up in the girl's name. We did learn about this. The Roottree Sisters Fashion Scholarship. Search. The Root website has a small memorial section to the deceased members of the family, but it contains no new information. The most recent catalog, spring 1999, had an entire black cover with no text on it. I guess we can. I feel like that's something I'd really, that's not important. Maybe. On the leadership page, you learned that Root is currently managed by a designer who is apparently Brenda White's second in command. You don't recognize her name, and she seems unrelated to your search. There's also a scholarship page. On it, you find information about the Roottree Sisters Fashion Scholarship. It is awarded to 3 underprivileged high school girls each year who wish to pursue a career in fashion. Apparently, it also gives them an opportunity. We read that. Yeah, we did that. Now let's periodical. Charlotte. Okay. Let's actually look up the Clint's Trust now. It's the Roottree Company's usual legal arrangement and the motivation for most of their major financial decisions. As a recap, the entire family inherits directly from the profits of the company, the candy company, as well as their sister clothing company Root with the period. This means that nearly every Roottree can potentially have a say in the company's high-level operations. Historically, this has caused the family to be slow to approve any major expenditures that could significantly dig into the profits. After the release of Six Pieces by Sam Madsen, the clan's trust came under heavy scrutiny. Sam, her children, and her grandchildren should have been covered under the trust according to the wording revealed during the internal family conflict between Ron and Robbie Roottree. It seems that those who wrote the trust, Clancy Edward Roottree at the direction of the Elias Roottree, purposely deceived the rest of the family about the exact details of how it worked, in an attempt to keep Sam and his father, Edward Clancy, in an attempt to keep Sam and her father, Edward Clancy, his own twin brother, in a comparative poverty. Because the rest of the family made money hand over fist, they had very little motivation to question their understanding. Sam's book revealed this to the public, and it did not go over well. Clark Rafferty LaRoe took over the company, and its most celebrated move was his first official one. We know that, we read this. He ensured Sam's family would get their share. To help facilitate this, the inheritance aspect of the trust is now under the control of a third party. Now, over the Plants Trust. I know I spelled that wrong. Ensure that the financial motivations of Roottree family members will not interfere with the investigations into potential new Roottrees. According to Clark's letter, however, some family members are still doing their best to slow the investigation by refusing to answer questions. Okay. Was there anything else on Felix Fellows? It should pop up in news time. Huh. Fine. Oh, Team Blast. Popular and attractive enough that even though his music is not targeted towards teen girls, they seem to be paying attention anyway. While he hasn't done any interviews with the magazine, they listed him amongst the husky hotties for the past few months with small bios that tell you various facts about him. Wait, what? Is it actually not Felix? Born Feb 9th, 1977. Real name David. Grew up in Falls and Karen, Portland. A letter to the editor also claims that it's not possible that he was born in 1977, as he claimed on a song called 17 Magazine that he turned 17 in 1992. Maybe. In a song that he turned 17 in 1992. The editor responds with a statement that they've reached out to his agent to ask about the song and were told it wasn't performed by 5 Piece and they shouldn't print rumors. 17 Magazine. Search. title of an unreleased controversial song by Dirty Davy. Song 17 magazines. Was written by a 13. Is this actually your name or no? We know that's another moniker. Maybe. There's mentions on it on a few sites, claiming that it was his first release of his first mixtape but was removed. There is no audio or visual evidence of it existing, but there is an independent account from people who have claimed to have heard it, and they do generally line up. According to their recollection, it was about many different loosely connected occurrences to the number 17, mostly violent. The intro states that it was written on Davy's 17th birthday, involved a fictional but glorified series of murders at a fashion show for a teenage magazine with a similar name to the song title. The person doing the violence was apparently trying to beat Dahmer's high score. Jeffrey Dahmer had pled guilty to killing 16 people in 1992. Due to major acts of gun violence in schools earlier this year and the subsequent backlash against violent music and video games, it is generally considered in very poor taste to bring it up. Most of the people that enjoy mentioning it online are either trolls or trying to shock people or come from the morbidly curious corners of